Previewing UFC 156 here at SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Sitting next to me is our returning guest, Nick Kalikas, MMA oddsmaker, sportsbook consultant. His website is MMA Oddsbreaker. Thanks for being back with us, Nick.
Thank you.
All right, well, a lot of these big favorites, right? We just got finished talking about Nogueira and Evans, and now we've got a similar fight, Silva and Overeem. Overeem is a huge favorite here. These guys are enormous heavyweights, and whenever you have enormous heavyweights like this, I'm always leaning towards the underdog here. Antonio Silva plus 300. Got to be some value there, right? No?
Well, it's another one of these fights for me that was similar to the last one we talked about here, because you know what? I did open Silva in his last fight, in his defense, as a decent dog against Travis Brown, too. He ended up coming through, I mean, impressively in that fight, too. So underestimated him a little bit there. But in this fight here, man, I mean, you know, it should stay on the feet, and on the feet, Overeem should plaster him, honestly. I mean, that's what I expect here. Silva's got such a big target on his head. I mean, he's got, I'm just talking how it is. He's got a huge jug head that's
enormous.
Yeah, it's easy to hit, and if with the power of somebody like Overeem hitting that chin, it's not going to take much to knock him out either. Now, that being said, I think technically Antonio Silva's probably the better MMA fighter again there too. I mean, he's probably going to look to take this fight to the floor, but Overeem has shown improved takedown defense. I mean, Brock Lesnar struggled to get him down, so did Fabricio Verdum in that fight too. So Overeem should be able to keep this up on the feet. And on the feet, he should, like I said, knock out Antonio Silva. But Antonio Silva is not a bad striker. He's got power himself. And one thing that nobody talks about really is Overeem's chin. I mean, Overeem's been knocked out several times throughout his career as well.
That's what I mean, these big heavyweights, you know?
Yep. So Antonio Silva could shock us all here and catch him first. I mean, with that much power, I can't lay the juice again. So this is another fight for me personally. I pass on because I think common sense tells you that Overeem is the better technical striker at least, and he's going to probably land on him and knock him out, put him out. But I mean, I'm not going to lay 3-4 to 1 on it. I mean,
what about just Overeem first round knockout?
Yeah, Overeem. Yeah, I think that's possible. You know, some of the props here, as far as knockout props, I think the public's probably going to bet those a little bit more, and then they're going to put Overeem, of course, in a parlay. I mean, right now I've already been hearing a lot of two-team parlays with Rashad Evans and Overeem as well. It pays around 175 or so. That might be the way to go, but again, I mean, you're laying a juice against Antonio Nogueira, which we just talked about, and Antonio Silva, and they're both talented guys in their respectively in their divisions. So
anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, MMA is a little fluky at times, and if one of those fluke losses happens, you're screwed. So.
No, I mean, I agree with your analysis of the fight in general. I think if it does play out that way, then Overeem in knockout in the first round might have some value. What kind of odds do you think you might see on that one?
You're going to see a lot cheaper. I mean, again, but from my perspective, I know the public's going to like that side a little bit more.
Okay, so you're going to juice it.
Yeah, I juice it up a little bit more. But I mean, places like 5 Dimes, you'll see some great prop offerings there. I mean, their lines sometimes on plus money with something like that could be possible. So I don't think. I mean, I'm going to probably try to sway him away from giving plus money by Overeem by knockout in round 1. I think you should charge a little bit of juice because that's probably what's going to happen. But other than that, I mean, this is another stay away from fight for me.
Well, what about just inside the distance?
Inside the distance in general, you're going to be juiced up again. I mean, if you're talking about the line being almost 4 to 1, you're going to probably have to lay at least 2.5 to 1 on that. So that's a little bit, I would think, more ballpark. But I mean, personally, I just don't see much value in laying that much. You know what I mean on the fight.
No.
So I think there's better fights to bet that are 2 to 1 and under, almost pick'em type fights, or some underdogs. Those are the fights that I kind of like to bet more than laying the steep juice. I mean, I have in the past, but those fights, I mean, like I said, a fluke happens and you get burnt. And it takes a while to recover 3-4 times your money.
You think this could, for sure. You think this could go the distance, though?
I don't know. I mean, I doubt it. I really doubt it. It's not going to go the distance. I mean, both of them, I think Antonio Silva has better cardio. Overeem has shown he can go the distance, but he does tend to fade a little bit, too.
Yeah.
I really don't see it. I mean, with that much power, you should see a knockout, at least. That's what the UFC put this fight together for.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on to one of these fights that you talked about has a more competitive line, okay?